What's going on, guys? Hope you're having an excellent day, or had an excellent day depending on when you watch this. As you can see, it is nighttime out right now. Well, sort of nighttime. It gets dark at like 6 o'clock or so. The day's not over yet, so I'm getting some stuff done here. A little bit different video for today. If you don't follow me on Instagram already, you're really missing out of this, because I always show what I'm doing on the truck. It's always live, and actually as it's happening, you can kind of watch me as I'm working on it. So if you haven't yet, shoot me a follow, please. Right here's my username, @MarkDicola. You can follow me there. All kinds of posts on the trucks, always detailed descriptive posts, like last one was on injectors. You know what, actually, let's just look at it here. So here it is. As you can see, all kinds of truck posts here. This one was of the 15, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the video yet on that. And then just kind of talking all about VGT turbos, why exactly they make that whistle sound. Here's one on a train horn install kit I did of horn blasters on this truck. The whole entire kit installed start to finish. See what else we got on here. All kinds of cool photos. One about detailing. I wrote down all my favorite spray waxes, good stuff like that. Transformation last truck, I talked about injectors on this one, and all kinds of stuff like that. Needless to say, if you aren't following me, please do me a huge favor and do that. I always have a story up on here 90% of the time. All kinds of stuff, as you can see up top there. What's this video about here? You saw the title, is talking about 12 wides. Well, I've been doing such little things here and there, and I always put them on my story because it's easier to get this camera out, start recording and all that. It really kind of coordinates a lot of planning, kind of it's just spur of the moment a lot of the times, and I end up just having my phone with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my story off of my phone, I'm going to play it on here, so that way it stays up for more than 24 hours. A lot of people are asking, they're like, hey, are you going to put this on YouTube, because I want to do this later on, but I don't have my truck right now. And I said I'll send it to you if you need it or something. But then 10-15 people asked. I said, okay, I think it'd be worth my time just to put it on YouTube, and it'd definitely benefit you guys. If it helps 10 people, it was worth it in my eyes. So this video, we're not putting it on, but we're trimming for 12 wides on the truck. Sway bar end links, I'll put all those up. As you can see, we got a nice setup here. A tripod with a couple LED lights on there makes this place look like daytime. I think it's 2 or 3 degrees right now, so a little bit chilly on the hands there. Got a work light down there, and then a snap-on work light there, so lights the place up pretty well. And then that's pretty much it. As you can see, the truck is a little cold. Video to come on this, still working on the editing. So to cut out all my talking here and finally get to the video, I will start playing that right now. So time for the LOI Duramax high idle kit here I'm putting on from Merchant Automotive. This kit was $30. If I were to do it over again, I would definitely make it my own, because it is super simple to make. I'll show you guys everything you pretty much need to do it yourself for $5–10. The only piece you really need to buy is this pin right here. This is an LOI ECM pin. They're all going to be different, so make sure you get it for your year, whether it's LB7, LOI, LBZ, whatever it is. And then you're going to need about 4 to 5 feet of this small gauge wire here. Little wire tap here that I'm not going to use because I'll solder instead. Don't even need that. Little grommet that couldn't be more than 50–75 cents. A little bit of wire loom here, and that's pretty much your kit for $10 made by yourself. Can't beat that versus $30 for this. So we got a nice setup out here. I got the lights. Unfortunately, it is snowing, but that's alright, we'll make it work. So first step is get your TCM transmission controller out of the way. 210mm at the top. Come out here and pull your harnesses off so you can free this up. Once your TCM is out of the way right here, you want to go to your ECM engine control module, and you want the C3 connector, which is the one on the very bottom here with the gray. So we're going to get this thing opened up so we can put a new pin into here, right in there. So to get this connector apart, pretty much little zip tie you cut off up top. That'll get your plastic piece, a little cover off. Next, release all the pins to make them be able to put the new one in. Pull this green piece out of here the whole way, and remember how that went in. So now the pin number we need is number 6. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a wire in it, and here's 6. You can see I already started pulling this little blocker kind of to keep the dust and stuff out. You want to take that out the whole way, and then the pin comes out here. The LOI little dust cover here, it's a lot easier to see. Some of the other ones are really tucked down in there so you can't tell, and people try and put the wire in, but you really got to push it through with like a drill bit or something to make sure that little dust cover gets the whole way out. So now you can see that pin is in there with the wire. Take your retainer clip, get it started, push it the rest of the way in there. Go ahead and take your little dust cover here, put that back over top, zip tie it on the back here, and you'll be set. Next up goes the new pin in here. It's going to insert right into that hole, And make sure when you push it in, you hear it click, because that is absolutely essential to make sure you're getting contact when we put this all back together. Lastly, lock all your connectors in. All 3 are in there now. Got my wire here. I'm going to route. It's going to go back to the firewall. We'll poke through right back into there. And then insert your TCM back in here. 2 and 2 14mm bolts, and the fender brace comes out. That's going to give us a little better access to where we can drill back there. Now, when running anything through the firewall, GM actually gives you a little spot to go through. If you pull this little cap off of the stud, pull the harness back, if you see that little dimple right there, they give you a spot to start drilling through the firewall. I'll show you where that ends up. I piloted this with a 1/8" hole, and then I came in with the 3/8, and go ahead and push my grommet in there. Pretty much a factory look to that. I'll feed my wire through there, and then I'll show you where that ends up inside. Okay, so underneath the truck here, up underneath the pedal, you see where this little tab right here is? Go ahead and pull that open. It's gonna open like a little door. And then behind that is your grommet, and you can see the wire that I've fed right through. So we need a wire off the brake pedal here. So if you follow the shaft the whole way up there, you will see this plug, full focus right there. So go ahead and pull that off. We're gonna need a wire off of there to tap into. And you see how there's letters here, A through F? The one you want is letter F. So go ahead, at least for me, I'm gonna solder this, do it the right way. I'm gonna cut that wire, solder my new one into here. It is gonna suck soldering from underneath the dash here. So I'm gonna go ahead and solder that in, not use the splice connector. I hate using those because I feel like one day it's just gonna fall apart and then you'll be screwed because the connection will fail. So we'll do it right and go ahead and solder it in. Now you can see where I soldered in there. So that's all set. I can pretty much go ahead and plug this back in, and that is the last and final step. Then you had your 2 little plastic retainers that held those wires and that harness on the studs. Lastly is your fender brace here. That's all tightened up, so we can go ahead and try this thing out. The awesome thing about this is it is all controlled through your cruise control here, something you're never going to use when you're idling. So for 1800 RPMs, you hit the resume button. Then for your factory 1200 RPM high idle, go ahead and hit the cruise set button. And then to stop that, once again, tap the brake, and you're down to your factory idle, which is perfect because everything is contained right here, no extra switches or anything. So when or why would you want a high idle? Reason number 1 and most common is for warm up. These trucks, they don't like to hit the high idle till about 30, 32 degrees, but say if it's 35, idling, this diesel's never gonna make heat, so it just kind of stays cold out there. Another great time is for extended idling periods. You don't want to let these sit and idle too long just on the actual idle, because you need to pump oil through there to lubricate the cylinder walls, the piston rings, all that stuff. So by jumping up the idle, you're flowing more oil and really lubricating the engine. Third reason I can think to need this is if, say, you're trying to get a little higher voltage out of this thing and you want to keep your RPMs up, keep that alternator turning. So that's another reason that you could use a high idle. It'll be set there. You don't have to worry about it being cold to be able to use that. So for your Duramax cat eye, ECM pin, wire, wire loom, grommet, zip ties, and for probably $5 or $10, you have yourself a $30 kit installed in 2 hours. What's going on, guys? Hope you are having an excellent New Year's Eve tonight. A little bit chilly out here, a little colder than normal. Nonetheless, we're still getting it done out here, knocking things off the list for the LLY. And tonight is going to be getting all of this ready for the 12 wide wheels so we can actually turn. So I pulled the fender well here to make this a little bit easier to see. Got some light in here. So basically what's going on here is we need to make some room in here. For this wheel to come in when it swings in, it's going to be going right for that area right there. So we need to clear this out for it to be able to turn. So the proper name for this is called the NorCal mod, N-O-R-C-A-L. And you're not really slicing out anything, you're just putting a few little cuts, one right here, so that we can take this piece of metal and bend it inward. So first we're going to need to cut right here, like I said, fold that in, then trim some of this insulation out of here. And then once we do that, this part of the rocker we can fold down so it's completely flat. It'll come out to about there. And then the whole entire piece we bend back here and fold it up and in. So there's no cutting, just fold. Now on the front portion, we're basically going to have to take out where I put this line the whole way to the bottom there. And you can either just cut that, leave it, and then put like a clear coat over it so it doesn't rust, or you can take this lip, cut it off there, and then weld it in so it kind of looks like it came from the factory. So we got the piece of insulation cut out of there, and I also went ahead and bent the rocker down right here. Remember, it used to be standing straight up like 90 degrees. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our cut right about here, right above that pinch weld right there, so we can fold this back. So as you can see with the grinder there, we got some cutting going on here. I put that relief cut right here, and that gave us the opportunity for that piece that used to sit like this to fold it back. Pretty much just hammer it back and in, so that now we can take this bottom piece and fold it up. So as you can see, the rocker that used to come out to about right here, folded it straighten up. So now we have all this room in here for this tire to swing. You might have to clip a little bit of this fender flare off of there if you do have these, just to make sure you're not going to hit that. So that's pretty much about it for clearing 12 wides. Fold that rocker up, NorCal mod back there. Trim the front bumper right here. Don't forget to, after you're done with this, spray some paint in here to make sure you have no exposed metal that can't rust or anything like that, or undercoat it depending where you live up in the north. So I went ahead and laid some clear coat on that bare metal so we don't have any rusting issues. But what I don't like is when people just trim like straight across here. I like it when it comes to a body line and then goes down, because it kind of looks like it was meant to come that way. It all just kind of flows together like that. So after last night getting the NorCal mod there ready for the 12 wides, what I realized is my sway bar end link was just hanging there pretty much. It was just swinging right from the very bottom. It snapped off, which is pretty common for these trucks. Pop that out, and then that'll free up this middle section here that'll come out. We have the new ones here that we're going to throw in. I believe it's a 12mm on the top and bottom, and that just tucks right into there. You just get a wrench to hold the bolt and then run the nut with either a socket wrench or an impact or something, and that's pretty much as simple and easy as it gets. New ones are in the truck there. Super easy design and easy to do if you never did this before. Basically, a bolt runs through here. You have a nut on the bottom. You have a sleeve in the middle here, a couple bushings, and this sway bar goes up top. The lower control arm goes in the bottom. Unfortunately, the snow is picking up here, but the vote on whether to show the wheels was about 1,500 to 40. So with that being said, I'm going to show what they look like here. This is a 20x12 wheel here, new for 2018 from Anthem Wheels. So from the front, it's going to be tough to tell, but it's going to stick out about 3 inches or so. People ask me how aggressive a 20x12 sticks out. That's kind of your answer right there. Figure the tire is going to be just maybe half an inch past where that lip is, compared to something on a 14 wide right here. On the 14 wide, you can see it's pretty much the whole way up into my jacket there, whereas on the 12 wide, it just makes it to the edge of my thumb there on the gloves. So big difference between 12 and 14 wides over here. I'll show you how much these stick out a good bit there. Definitely going to be a width upgrade for sure. I'll show you the tire I'm running now, wheel and tire, compared to it. It is about almost half to maybe 3/4 the width of this thing. So I'll run a 33 1250 on here that'll put the edge of the sidewall of the tire pretty much straight up and down. And I forgot to put the hubcap on. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. When tightening these, what I do is obviously I run them with the impact. Usually they hit 140 foot-pounds, but just to be sure, I go ahead and I use my torque wrench here. And I'll go ahead and do every single one of these across pattern like normal, like I tightened them the first time. I'll do all 8, and then just to make sure I didn't miss any again, I'll go around and hit every single one by one to make sure they click. So that's a total of hitting each lug nut 3 times to be sure. 8 times 3, 24 times total per wheel. You can multiply that by 4, and that's how many times I touch these lug nuts. So yeah, 8 lugs, real fun. All right guys, that pretty much wraps up today's video. Kind of a different video. Let me know how you liked it. Did you like it? Did you think it was not that great? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be really eager to read all those and kind of see what you guys think of this style of video, just kind of throwing a story in and all that stuff. So with that being said, if you give me a huge thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button for me. It helps me out a ton. That's my oxygen of growing this channel. Thanks again guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.